So I was going to start this video with a slight conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? So I was drinking my, so I'm going to do that anyway. So I was drinking my coffee and I was like, oh, they didn't have, I don't always run out and grab creamer, but they didn't have the one that I was looking for. So I settled for hazelnut. And I'm like, huh. I'm like, fucking hazelnuts. My eye color is hazel. I'm like, does that mean that fucking hazelnuts should be like bluish green? Is that, I gotta check that out later. So, gotta do some research. What color are hazelnuts? You know what I'm saying? Speaking of nuts, oh man, this is, yeah. So I woke up from a very sweet dream. I just tried staying in that dream because I was just like, fuck this shit. It's like, but for some reason, it's waking up from that dream. It reminded me of something that I needed to remember. So different than what the dream was. Which then brought some questions to my mind. I've only been up for, because I didn't go to bed until freaking this morning, or late this morning. And, amongst other things in my mind, it's like, I just made a video last night because there was no, I mean, believe it or not, fucking guess who got hacked? Guess who got hacked? T-Mobile? Yeah? Now, I still can't check my credit score, of course, but that's been going on for 3 fucking months because of my internet provider blocking me from checking my credit scores through my credit check company that I pay for. So, even with all that said, because I'm deceased, and I'm sitting here and I made a video a little while back before this other video, and I titled it "To Justin Bieber." All right. Now, this all plays into what I was just saying, but that's not what first popped up. That was actually the last thing that came to mind after remembering certain events, and one in particular event that I completely forgot about. That was a part of this whole process of, this is way before the Justin Bieber thing. But Justin, if you are listening, I want you to hear this because I am not so much confused about this, but I am interested. And then maybe you should be interested too. Because when I started to think about certain things, and like I was thinking of when I got kidnapped, now, I was able to I was able to physically check the details of that just by knowing that, like, I remember my little cousin being very young, and he was the one that was kidnapped with me. So therefore, when I asked my sister around about how old was he, and she said about 2, I said about 4 in my head already of myself. So it was more like he was probably turning 3, if not he just was turning 3. So he was 3 and I was 4. About. Maybe 4.5. I was. So, which amongst all the other things I completely forgot about, even though my mother, my grandma, my mom that raised me, before she passed away, she mentioned that to me a few different times in life. And I did not have any recollection of that. And I don't know what, she didn't, I mean, what details is she going to go into? You were kidnapped? That's pretty much it. I mean, she wasn't there for the kidnapping. She didn't know where fucking, she kind of knew the area that fucking I pointed out, but fucking nobody knew what the fuck was going on, blah, blah, blah. But the point being is that it's from that story that leads to another memory that I completely forgot about. Now, that memory took place after I began school. That memory began after I began school. So, I'm almost positive that I was already I was already in fucking school when the memory that I'm freshly thinking about right now took place. Now, the bottom line is that, in other words, the reason why I'm going all the way back to this is because when me and my cousin, my little nephew cousin, got kidnapped, I was able to hear 2 different voices arguing. Okay? When we got dropped back off, and my cousin decided to walk this direction, and I'm like, we live this way, and the little bastard he just kept going. He's like, I can't stop my legs. It was bullshit. I should have just grabbed him by the back of the fucking neck and dragged him back to the house. But instead, because of what one of the voices was saying, don't lay your fucking hand on him. It's like, what? It's like he's a moron. He's a fucking idiot. I'm like, where the fuck is that coming from? That's the point. The interesting part is that because of all that, it led to a situation where somebody wanted to meet me. Now, when this person met me, not so much meet me. Actually, I'm pretty sure freaking we had met before. But the thing is that this was a little bit later than after. This was a little later after we were kidnapped, because people really started to figure out that I could do certain things, and that's the point. It's like other people could do the things that I could do, but they could do it through certain means. Now, when I met this person, they gave me a tiny little shot glass with certain stuff in it. You know something? They told me, drink this. I said, okay. It's not going to hurt me. No, it's not going to hurt you. I drank the glass, the little tiny shot glass, and almost immediately I was able to hear that man's voice in my head without speaking out loud, completely 100%. Now, that was also, if I remember correctly, because this is all fresh in my head right now, that was after I was kidnapped. That was also after I met Tupac. Now, me and Tupac were able to have a telepathic communication, okay? Half out loud, half in our own heads. He was able to hear me, I was able to hear him. The interesting part is the stuff that was given to me by a certain man, that took place after. But what I can say is that after I drank that, I was able to hear that man loud and clear without speaking. Now, there were at least a few incidents before that incident. Now, that incident was explained at the time to certain people around me. I don't even want to go into anything else about that. The interesting part is that when me and my cousin got kidnapped, I was able to hear that man's voice was the same fucking voice as one of the two voices. In other words, the one of the two voices that were arguing the day that we got kidnapped. That man's voice I was able to hear before that incident happened. The other incident where I took the shot glass. When I did take the shot glass, I was able to hear that man's voice very, very loud and clear in my head. Now, what's interesting is that, and this is even after we left, I was able to hear this person from a very, very, what seemingly is a long distance for a kid. Okay. So the thing is that I don't know, it had to be because I got hit by the fucking car. It had to be because I was able to talk more well in my head than I was like coming out of my mouth. It reminded me so much of the first time I met Ari. Now, what was interesting too is that, like I said, those incidents happened before that shot glass. Now, my point being, after leaving that situation where I met that person and drank that shot glass, what's interesting is, and I'm remembering this somewhat correctly right now, me and that man started to argue. because the stuff that was in my head was very, very jumbled at times. And I was a kid, and I still didn't fully grasp what I could do. So I, as a child, was fucking with that man mentally from a distance, pretty, from a pretty interesting distance. And he was getting fucking pissed. And I was getting fucking, like, I was finding this decently fucking hilarious. Because I didn't understand, even though I understood, I didn't fully grasp that any of this was fucking real. Even though that's what I mean. It's like I grasped it, but I didn't grasp it. Like it is fucking. I don't know how better to explain that. Okay. So it was very interesting that we had a very almost direct line of communication going. So the point being was now I go to Justin. Now, this is years later. They put you in my car. Now, I remember hearing the fucking two voices. And they were arguing. And this is no homo shit attached, okay? So anybody that's just coming across this dumb fucking video that is just of a crazy person talking, okay, fucking go somewhere else, alright? Justin, when you reached over, when you leaned over and you grabbed my arm, you were so little. You were so little, kid. I swear on everything that is holy. I don't know if you heard those two, and I know you could. No, I know you were able to fucking hear them too, but that's the thing. Those two voices that I was hearing were arguing. It's when your voice, that's why I told you to get the hell off my arm and to go to the other side of the car. I am sorry for being as freaking rude to you as that little kid. I was so rude because I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And I don't know what the fuck was said or this and that, but I am telling you right fucking now, like, I am so sick of all of the wannabes, Justin. I am sick of all the fucking scummers. I'm sick of them all. And yo, wow. You see, they were trying to twist my words. From what I remember, I was trying to explain the shit that I didn't even know whether fucking, I didn't, between being told never to talk about anything that fucking, and then it was like, and then they want answers about, well, this and that, and they were like, well, we can do this too, and fucking, there was no other fucking, it was bullshit. That is bullshit. There was two fucking voices arguing, and then there was your voice, Justin, and that is the fucking weird part, because your voice said some pretty fucking weird shit, and that's what me and you in that car started to fucking argue about. And I said, get off my arm and get on the other side of the fucking, get as far onto the other side of the car as possible. I did not mean to yell at you. I did not mean to fucking, I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like there's so much to understand about the spiritual world. I was able to do this shit when I was a little kid, and there were people that were fucking jealous, and the people that supposedly had the fucking answers were just as fucking jealous of me. And there was other people that were able to fucking somewhat counter shit, but those people they did not seemingly have good intentions. Even if their intentions seemed good because of the shit that was going on in my head, and they were able to hear the shit that was going on in my head. But the shit that was going on in my head was not the way that I was in person. And as far as the shit that was being jammed into my head, the Tupac thing, all of that came before I drank what was in that shot glass. That man's voice, I was able to hear, the one who gave me that shot glass, I was able to hear that voice that same day that me and my cousin were kidnapped. That was not the same voice. Was there 3 voices? 2 of the voices that were arguing in that car sounded very, very similar to one another. There might have been a 3rd voice, but then there was your voice, okay? So either way, there was 3 voices. That's why I'm saying it's like the other 2 voices sounded very, very similar, and they were arguing with one another at the same exact time. That's why I know there was 2 voices that sounded similar. There was a 3rd voice. I'm pretty fucking sure at this moment I am saying that there was another voice, possibly. But then there was your voice. So either way, there was 3 voices. Maybe there was a 4th. That was before I heard your voice. The point being is that those other 2 voices, the day that we were kidnapped, those voices were not the same voices. The one voice was of the person who gave me the shot glass. Now, due to the fact that I know that I've seen it firsthand, that people can mimic in that spiritual realm, they can mimic other voices. Some can, well, not some, a lot. I guess it's not that hard. From what I understand, it's not that fucking hard. That's not a freaking. That's why I'm saying it's like if you see this, it's like, you know, it's like I think I'm gonna be dead soon, or at least maybe I'm just like fucking like dragging my own end. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm living in a fucking place that I'm literally like, I like in here, there's less of whatever the fuck is in there. Hey, you know what? Let me just show you this. Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. This, do not want to get this in the coffee. This is not fucking, this is the dust that comes into the other room that I sleep in. This is not dust. This is fiberglass. I mean, that's gathered up. I'm breathing that shit in all the time. I smoke these all the time so that I can spit the shit out of my lungs that is gathering in my lungs. You know, I asked the neighbor the other day, I said, every time that you bang on the wall, and it's not like fucking sex, you know, I don't give a fuck. At this point, I just want to get the fuck away from it, just like my mail. Every fucking place, I've never been in a fucking, that's why I'm saying, it's like I've reported twice that my mail was being opened. All of my mail was being opened. And fucking, and the motherfuckers, and that's why I'm saying, it's, they just got me so fucking pinned off, like, they need to know every single fucking detail. That's why I'm making these videos, and I'm just not stopping. Trust me, kid, I would rather have, and I mean Justin Bieber, you know, it's like I would have totally rather have just talked to you about things that freaking, and I know how fucking you are, bro. I know you got that fucking attitude fucking to you, and you know something, it's like, that is a, you know, man, it's like, wow, it's like, you know what, it's just, it makes me think of all the other shit. All the other shit that don't involve you, had nothing to do with you, fucking, and yet fucking, you know what, I'm just thinking of all the dumbass little fucking this and that and this and that, and I'm just like, you know something, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. By the time that my friend Danny came along, and he started to talk to me about like voices that he was hearing in his head, just, I was being drilled in my head to forget about all this shit. To forget about the fact that I could talk to animals. To forget about the fact that fucking all of it. Okay? I was being jammed in my head. So, it's just interesting. Like, I made fun of Danny, my friend Danny, when he started to fucking rock back and forth. And this is interesting though too, because it's what came out of it. None of those voices ever told me. I can't say that actually. When fucking Mr. Perez pulled the shit that he pulled, and fucking the voices did tell me to fucking go into that motherfucking shed, because that motherfucker just tried to kill me, and they were like, grab those fucking shears and fucking and charge at him, fucking rip his fucking head off, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So the point being, Mr. Perez, how you been, bitch? Oh, I want to fucking kill you so bad. So bad for fucking killing your wife. And then fucking replacing her with another one that looked kind of fucking like your wife? What the fuck is wrong with you? Holy shit. Damien, I swear to God, that was not my fucking... Oh, man, I don't know why you didn't just kill your father. I really don't. Oh, it's part of my thing. Nah, man, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. It's just like I said, it's like with all the people telling me, don't bring this up, don't talk about this, forget this happened, it's all fucking don't. And I remember Danny sitting there fucking on the curb with me, and fucking him talking to me about the fucking voices, and the voices were telling him to fucking kill me. And it was like, he's like, and he's fucking rocking back and forth. And I hate making fun of people, man. I really do. Like on a fucked up level. It's like I'm doing now, but I didn't think of that way back then. And he was sitting there rocking back and forth, holding his fucking sides of his head. And he's like, Anthony, he's like, the voices. He's like, the voices. And he's like, fucking, they want me to, they want me to do bad things. They want me to hurt you. They want me to kill you. And I was like, holy shit, Danny. I'm like, wow, bro. He was older than me. That's why I didn't mean to make fun of him, man. Because it's like, I know that fucking whatever the fuck was talking to him, bro, was trying to fucking. That's why I'm saying it's like, but a lot of people are not. A lot of people that can do this. There are a lot of people that can do this, and the thing is that fucking it's hard to tell when another spirit is mimicking the voice of another spirit. So that's why I'm saying it's like there's people that don't understand about this, and then there's people that do understand, but then some of those people are not allowed to explain. And even if they could explain, some of them can't explain it that well. So now I hope that this can explain some of that. I was able, before I drank what was in that shot glass, I was able to have that conversation with Tupac, which was a fucking horrible conversation. Horrible things were fucking said by him. He tried to fucking get me. I don't even hate him. It's just that I fucking can't even, like, wow, man. That's why I said I don't even know. I don't even know. I never got that vibe from her. I didn't. I did not get that vibe from Tupac's mom. It's like I fucking I know that I upset her. And I know that fucking when she gave me the plaque, and I know that fucking, like, when I found the microphone, and fucking, it was like the fucking the fucking thing's talking, and then I showed my father after him telling me I was crazy, even though he was fully fucking aware of certain things. Doesn't matter. Fucking the damn plaque was talking, and fucking that's when I showed him the fucking plaque. They found the fucking microphone, and then they found the microphones in all the other fucking plaques. Two of those plaques were, at least two, were rigged to fucking burn down. Two, maybe three of those plaques, because I know that the one fucking plaque burned the fucking room that it was fucking hung in the